Leslie Wagner from Silver Lining Knitting here. I wanted to do a quick video on purling technique on Kiss looms. I don't actually use my purling tool from Kiss for this. I use it for other things, but I find that it doesn't work for me for purling. So I wanted to show you a way that I've found that works, and I hope it'll work for you too.
Okay, I've cast on 20 stitches so we can get some good practice each direction. I'm going to start by a quick review of doing them the easy direction. So it's easy to do purl stitches when you're moving away from your knitting tool. You've got the working yarn in your other hand. You move it forward in front of the peg. You pick up the old stitch, make a new loop from underneath, then you pick both stitches up from the peg and set the new stitch down while holding the working yarn to the back. Okay, and I can adjust the tension by pulling a little bit more on the loop or on the working yarn. And going in this direction, it's fairly easy. Now remember that on the Kiss loom, you've got that pin to deal with. So when I set the new stitch down, my working yarn comes behind and it comes around the pin and then comes back in front so it can go in front of the new peg when I am ready to make my new stitch. Behind the pin, in front of the peg. So you can see that going this direction, it happens pretty quickly. I can actually do this, I think, faster than I can do knit stitches in this direction. It's going in the other direction that's difficult. So I'm going to finish this row and then show you sort of the old, less efficient way of doing it, and then the new way that I've developed. And who knows, maybe somebody else has already figured this out. I haven't seen any videos on it, but this is a way that seems to be working for me, so I thought I'd share. All right, as we come back the other direction, you don't really want, the problem that happens is the old way was I would put the working yarn in my hand with the knitting tool and bring it to the front. Then I switch hands. I put my knitting tool under, create the new stitch. I pinch it with the fingers of my other hand so I can get the working yarn on the side that it needs to move, and I put it behind. So I'll do that again. Up front, make the new loop, pick it up, pick up the working yarn, and then the working yarn gets pulled back while I put the new loop down. So it goes behind the pin, and then I bring it front again to the next peg. But that's a lot of switching back and forth. So I've tried this. I hold the working yarn between my index finger and my thumb of my non-dominant hand. And I use my middle finger as sort of a tension and to guide the yarn. I put the yarn in front of the peg and make the new loop. Now this is the tricky part. I'm going to pick them both up. I've still got the yarn in this hand. I'm going to put my index finger underneath the working yarn there and put it on top of this next pin so that when I push down, the yarn slides down between the pin and the peg. And then I pick up my finger and set the stitch down. Okay, so I'll try it again. It's already come forward in between the pin and the peg. Make my new loop. Whoops, if I don't get it stuck. There we go. Pick them both up. Now, index finger or middle finger on that pin and push the yarn down, and it goes right there where it needs to be. Then you have to go back and put the stitch on the old peg. But this I can do repeatedly without having to switch the working yarn back and forth. So let me slow it down and show you one more time. Okay, the yarn has come up between the old peg, the old pin and the new peg. I have a hold of it with my index finger and thumb. I'm guiding it with my middle finger. I put it under and create the new loop. Now, my middle finger goes under the yarn. I pick them up, put my middle finger on this pin, and then the yarn slides down between the pin and the next peg. So if I'm doing just one or two purl stitches, I usually will do it the old way where I switch back and forth and pick up the loop with my fingers. But if I'm doing a lot of purl stitches, which I've been doing lately because I've been doing Celtic patterns that have reverse stockinette background, so lots of purling. And I find that this works pretty well. So I hope this will be useful to you and you can get some practice and maybe not be so reluctant to do purl stitches, because I know a lot of people kind of balk at those. All right, hope you enjoyed the video.